In this experiment we are going to test Pigment Checker on SALVO to do transmitted infrared photography. So this is a Pigment Checker, our collection of historical pigments. So we open it, we remove the envelope, okay. Pigment Checker is made of a semi-transparent background, so the idea is to simulate what we could find in a work on paper, on a canvas that is relatively transparent. Okay, then for our experiment we're gonna use, as usual, our set of filters, the Robertina filters set. And in particular for this experiment we are going to use just the visible filter and the infrared filter. Okay, so the first operation is to set up the Pigment Checker on the board, and we want to use pieces of black cardboard in order to screen the other part of the screen here. Otherwise the light will be overwhelming. So the idea is we just apply this any piece of cardboard basically. So I have this one, a black one, but you can use anything that is just a little bit opaque. Okay. Actually, in the meantime, we can turn on the computer and see how the camera is seeing the screen. On the camera, live view, there it is. Okay, pretty nice. So we can turn on the visible, so we have a little bit more contrast. We can also turn off some lights. Okay, so it's gonna be much better. Also, we can turn off basically I'm turning off all the environmental lights so we can see better the contrast. Okay, so we are going to use these screens. You can use one over here, another one over here. Okay, so we basically screen most of it. So this is our targets. Can put over here. Okay, so basically the idea is in doing this experiment, first we want to take a standard visible image that is our reference, and also we want to see, we have a reference to understand what we are taking a picture of. So I'm gonna put the visible filter on the camera. Okay. I'm gonna turn on the lights, visible light on the sides. I'm gonna turn off this one, so I'm taking a standard picture of this Pigment Checker of this object. Okay, let's check the focus. Focusing is fine, exposure is fine, we can take this picture. So turn off live view and shut. Okay, the image is taken. Let's make now a standard photo into the infrared. So I remove the visible filter. We put the infrared filter in the camera. Let's go back in the live view. There it is. Okay, now the infrared filter is on and the screen is dark because there is no infrared. Those are the lamp on the side are LEDs. So let's turn on the infrared filter, the infrared lamps. Okay, there we are. We have our lamps. Take this image. Very interesting, by the way. You see the cardboard here was black, but now it looks totally white. Okay, because this material, the color, the ink for this paper, it becomes just transparent in the infrared. Okay, very interesting. Let's take the image. Okay, now we do the infrared transmitted photo. So we turn off the IRF lamp on the side. Okay, we go into live view. Okay, turn on this one, the IR, and there it is. So what we see now is this IR transmitted. By the way, the cardboard I used here, you see, it's black, but actually this black becomes transparent in the infrared. So the cardboard, you see, it's not that much, it's not a perfect shade. Basically, we see this area where it's overlapping, that darker. Okay, but for this application, it's fine. Basically, we want to remove the too much overwhelming infrared that would come if we don't put something over here. So the border of the image will be overwhelmed. So even this one, a normal piece of cardboard, even if it's white, it's fine. It's just we wanted to reduce a lot the infrared. Okay, the image is fine. Regarding focusing, we don't need to check the focus again because the last photo was taken in the infrared. This one is infrared transmitted, and so the focusing, the distance will be the same. Okay, we need just to check the exposure. Maybe we need a little bit more or less. Actually, over here I see already the spot of the pigments becoming transparent, so I'm pretty satisfied with this image, this exposure. So I close the live view and I shoot the image. Okay, we did a good job, we shot this image, and now let's have a look at these images on the computer doing the usual editing. We loaded the images on GIMP, so we have the visible image, the infrared, standard infrared, so in reflectance mode, and then we have IRT, the image took using SALVO imaging panel. Let's compare infrared and IRT. So, for example, we go here up on the white pigments. This is where the use of IRT becomes more important. So, for example, let's focus here on the famous LED white. It's over here. So we have LED white, the visible image, the infrared image. You see, in the infrared we don't see anything, any line behind it. When we do IRT, LED white becomes totally transparent. So this is perfect to see behind the LED white that is everywhere, basically in art from antiquity to modern time. And the same is true for example, titanium white is over here. Titanium white replaced LED white because it's not toxic. And we see in the infrared, the titanium white is a little bit more transparent. We start to see maybe a little bit of a line here, but definitely becomes much better and obvious when we do the IRT. And the same thing can be said also for other pigments. There are other examples. For example, you see azurite over here, totally opaque, start to become transparent in the IRT method. We start to see the lines over here. Remember that these images were taken far away, so this image is a large piece, is a large area we are imaging. Okay, so remember the SALVO imaging panel is A3, the dimension of the paper, so we are far away. Okay, so let's see another example.
well, the red, for example, the raw sienna, the sienna pigment, over here, very common. So this iron oxide, it's over here, raw sienna. We do the IRT and we start to see the lines over there. Okay, so this is it. Thank you.